Hi there, I'm Cheryl, and I have another little Valentine's Day card. And I thought this would be great for the guy that doesn't like a lot of frou-frou on his cards, but it does have some nice little accents just to make it a romantic Valentine's Day card. So this is what we're going to need. I didn't write down what the sizes of my pieces are, so let me grab a ruler. And we need some Crumb Cake cardstock, and this is 4.5 by about 3.5. And that's going to get trimmed down. That's going to make our little tag. And I've already pre-cut this little die here. Let's see, and that's from Forever Lovely. It's one of the new stamp sets out from Stampin Up. And that's this die right here. And it's very simple to cut that out. Just place it in the corner, tape it down. I don't care if you have a magnetic platform or not, you want this positioned properly because you want this to be straight. Okay, so I just eyeballed the distance between my sides here, tape that down, and cut it out. Then we have another piece that we don't need it nearly this big. So we're going to use the Eyelet Rectangle Basics. That's from Heartfelt Creations. And it just makes a just a little bit of a lacy edge. I can't not do a little bit of lace on it. Got to have a little bit of lace, so you just need it just big enough to fit that die on. And let's see, you'll need a piece about do about 5 by 4, and that will give you plenty to cut out this piece. And I also have a piece of Very Vanilla, and this is 4.25 by 3.25. That will fit inside your little lacy edge. And I have a piece of designer paper, and that's from, what do they call it? I have to find my end paper. It's a Stampin' Up Designer Series paper set, and it's called All My Love Designer Series paper. Has a lot of pretty patterns in it. That's the back side. Here's the other side of it, and that will be one of the mats on the front of our card, and that is 5.25 by 4. And our card base is Crumb Cake, and that's cut to make a 5.5 by 4.25 card, so it's a 10 by it's 5 by 8.5. 5 by 8.5. And then we have a card piece of Very Vanilla for the inside of the card, and that should be 3.75 by 5. So we have a nice little 1/4-inch edge all around. That's our papers. We're using the Memento Tuxedo black ink. I'm also using a couple little stamps from Meant to Be. I stamped little hearts on the inside, and there's one that has little flowers. I don't know if you can see that. It's got like little flowers on it, and then one just plain smaller heart. I used that on the inside, but if you wanted to, this stamp set also has like a big cluster of hearts and some little tiny hearts. You could use those if you would rather use those. other stuff. Here. I'll be using the Nuvo glitter drops, and this is Ruby Slippers. I tend to use that one a lot. And then I have some 1/4 inch satin ribbon that I'll be using. We'll just need a small piece of that. Probably about 6 inches of it. And then I got these cute little pony beads. It's Darice Craft Designers. I found these on Amazon. And they're heart pony beads in Christmas red color. But we're going to make them Valentine red. And I also have a Stampin' Right marker and lovely lipstick I'll be using. Then of course we have our whole host of adhesives. We have our Snail Adhesive and our Tombow Multipurpose liquid glue. And you're also going to need a nice pair of sharp scissors. I'll be using my Stamparatus. I've already used my Stampin Trimmer. And of course my Big Shot is sitting on the other side of the room there just waiting for me. So let's get started on this card, and I'm going to do our little tag on the front first because that's going to take some drying time. So let me get my Stamparatus in here. And I already have my stamp set up on here, both for my inside and my outside, which is so nice about this platform. But I wanted to show you a little tip of how to line up your stamps. I already have it lined up, but I'm going to take it off. I'm going to start over. Okay, so I'll take my stamp and place it on my piece of cardstock. About where I want it here. Let's see, that looks pretty good right there. We'll bring our little lid thing here over. And now, take some kind of a hard-edged ruler and lay that across one of the lines of your print. And this actually works better if you take it off of the platform and have it against a darker background. But lay it across your print and see how that lines up with your lines. And I can see that I'm just a smidge off. It's down just a little bit on this side. So I'm going to just put my finger on this edge of the stamp here. I'll lift that up, bring it up a little bit. Let's see. Now I'll check it again. And see how that lines up. Let's see. Yeah, it's still down. I don't think I moved it up at all. Yeah, let's see how that looks. It might take you a couple tries. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me now. Now for when I lined up on the inside of the card here, I actually did, let me peel this off. I just put this down with the repositionable tape so I could show you. So I put the Happy Valentine stamp down, and then I inked it in a lighter color, and I did a little test stamp on the back. The reason I used the light color is because you could, if I did that full strength with the Memento Tuxedo Black, you might be able to see through it to the other side. So I just did a little test stamp in a light color ink on the back here. I think I used like oh, what is that color? Sahara sand. That's it. Okay. So, oh, now I took this off. I'm going to have to reposition that one. I'll do that when I have to take a little stop, because I am going to have to stop for a moment and let part of this dry. So let's get that inked up. You notice I'm not even using my magnets. They're nice, but they're not necessary. I have them on the back here. And it comes with two, but I very seldom use more than one. I'll put one out here. Just because I have it. Okay, so I'll ink that up. And stamp that. 1, 2, 3. Give it a little time to transfer. And I see I want that little inkier. So I'll ink that up again. 1, 2, 3. And that's good. I can close that up and get that out of here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need to do is clean that off. Because I have to, let me just stick that on there any old place. I don't want to get that ink all over. I'll set this aside for the moment. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this part off. And you see it only cuts so far here. So you can try to line that up in your trimmer. But what I did, I just took a pair of scissors. Not my little fussy cutting scissors, but a little bit longer pair. And I just carefully, with nice long strokes. You don't want to go little choppy strokes with it. And I'm starting from where the die cut left off, because then I know that where that meets up is going to be perfect. If I started in from the edge here and tried to line up, it may not have worked out properly. So you start from where the die left off. And then I'm also going to trim off the excess here. And I am going to use my Stampin Trimmer for that. Let me get that out. I like the Stampin Trimmer because it has, you can score with it and trim with it. So that's two things in one, and I don't have to have both a trimmer and a scoring board. Okay, so I'm gonna put that there. That looks about right to me. I'll trim that off. And now this side's going to be kind of tricky. So what I want to do, I'm going to just look where I need it, where I want it to be. I'm just going to take my fingernail. I'm going to make just a little mark in the top of the cardstock there. It's not much, but I'm going to be able to see that in order to line that up with the little groove that the cutter slides in. Okay, and then trim that off. Now on my original card, I used the little die cut on there, and I'm not going to do that on this one. If you want to use that in this corner, or maybe all these other three corners, then go ahead. But I really didn't think that added anything to it, because quite frankly part of it was covered by my little bit of ribbon and my heart. So I'm just going to skip over that part. Incidentally, this makes a wonderful cover if you have a laptop and cats. This fits my laptop perfectly. I just set it over my keyboard, and then when I'm away from my laptop, my cats can't walk on my keys and do searches and all kinds of weird things on my laptop. Now, we're going to jazz up our our little roses here a bit. I'm going to use my Stampin' Right marker. I'm going to use the paint type tip, and I'm just going to go right around the edge here. I want this heart to be really red. I don't want this crumb cake cardstock showing through. And when I put my glitter drops down on here, it will actually wick up some of that color up into the glitter drops, and what might have been a clear base with the red glitter in it will become a red base with red glitter. Okay, so there we go. Got that done. Let me wipe up that extra. Okay, so now we can put our glitter drops on. I'll do a little test squeeze off on the side here, make sure it's not going to spit. And then I just put that all around the heart. I want to keep calling these hearts. They're not hearts. They're roses. Cheryl, get it right. Roses, roses. There we go. And this takes a little bit of time, as you can tell. I'm trying to think of something to talk about. I guess I could talk about celebration. I'm not a very good salesperson though, so. But celebration is a nice thing. If you can get some free products with every $50 you spend on your order. Okay, so there we go. We've got that ready except for the dry time. I'll put that in a safe place. I'll wipe off the end of my thing and I'll bang that down and get that all out of the schnozzle. I'll give it a little squeeze and I can hear it huffing, so I know I have it all out. So let's do the interior of the card next. That's not the interior of the card. That's the one I want. So now I have to line up my Happy Valentine's Day again. And I'm taking this out. And you'll notice I have a piece of just thin craft foam in here. It's because one of the quirks of the Stamparatus is along the edge here, it's hard to get a good stamp impression. But by adding just a little bit of this foam, then that helps to alleviate that. Okay, so I have this. I've put my paper down wrong side up. And if you don't know what I mean by wrong side up, just feel on the edges and you can tell where you've cut with your trimmer. It's just like when you cut with a cutting die, there's going to be one edge that's going to cup down a little bit, and you'll be able to feel it, and actually you can see it if you look close up. So that's going to be my wrong side. I'll put my Happy Valentine's Day stamp just a little bit up further, I think. Put my thinger here, whatever you want to call it, on. And now I'm going to check to see my alignment, and this is way off. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to do my little test. And I'm going to use the Tuxedo black just because I'm too lazy to get up and get the other. I'm just going to dab it on there. I'm going to just smear it around with my finger a little bit. Just so it's not full strength, but I'll be able to see that when I stamp it. And that looks pretty good for my alignment. It's not a good stamp, but it's a good alignment. So I'll flip that over. Put my magnet on here. And I'll ink that up for real this time. One, two, three. And that looks good first time out. The rubber stamps do seem to stamp better. Okay, so I've got that. And I'm going to go off now. I'm going to cut out the little lace bit here. And we're going to let that dry, so I will be back. Well, my glitter on my roses should be about dry, but it's still a little wet. So let's just go on with the card. I was sitting out on my front porch having some coffee and admiring my Christmas cactus. It's just loaded with flowers. And you know what? I need my glasses on for this. And buds, so it's going to be blooming for quite a while. It's amazing because I thought I had killed it over the summer. I got a little crazy with the watering. So if you notice, I just folded my ribbon up like this. I cut it at an angle. And I folded my ribbon. And just thread these through the pony beads. We'll put all three of those on here. Whenever you're adding little elements, it's always best to use three, or not three, but an odd number. It's more pleasing to the eye. So 3 or 5. You could do 6, but in 2 groups of 3. So I don't know why that is, but it just is. Let's see if I have my... This is a single-sided satin ribbon, so I want to make sure that I have the satin side up. Just like that. And... Alright, so let's put the inside of the card on while I'm letting those roses dry a little bit more. So I'll use my Tombow glue on this. Give me a little wiggle time to get that adhered in place. There we go. Oh, I should have stamped my hearts. And I didn't tell you we needed some lovely lipstick ink either. So let's get those hearts on there, shall we? And I have both of them. I have them both on the same little block. So let's see. How did I do this on the other one? I really like the way that came out. Okay. So I'll put one here. I'll put one up here of the big ones. Then I'll flip it over. See, I don't have to see very well where I'm placing these. I just have to... Oh, I messed up on that one. Oh, poo. Maybe I'll do... See if I can fix that. There we go. And then I'll put one down here. Like that. There we go. I fixed it. I meant to do that. Right? Okay, so now we can start putting the front of the card together here too. And any one of these layers, if you want to, you could always pop that up also with some dimensionals or a little craft foam or even some cardboard from your breakfast cereal. Any or all of those would work. If it's going through the mail, I like to have something solid behind my little things here. I'm using the Tombow glue again. Put this up. And this piece, I was thinking if you wanted to, you could emboss this. I was trying to keep it a little more simple, you know, for those guys that don't like a lot of frou-frou on their cards. And that was silly. I wanted to have my my hearts on this bit. Oh my. Okay. So I have sticky Tombow on there, but I'm going to put some of my tape. See, that's what I get for just rambling on here. I don't know why. I feel like I have to be entertaining at every minute of the video. Okay, so I put 2 good stripes of tape here. If you notice, I noticed I had a little spot here. I don't know what that was from, but I'm going to hide that with my ribbon. I'm going to put my ribbon over that little spot there. I'll just wrap that around to the back. Okay, so now I'll put Tombow on here again because this is already starting to set up. And you notice I put it right over the ribbon. Now my ribbon will be held in place not only with the tape, but with the Tombow glue. I'll line that up also. Very nice. And I'll put this on the front of the card. Again with the Tombow. If you're a tape person, you like tape, then by all means use tape. I just like the Tombow because, well, you've watched my videos. I tend to make mistakes. I want to make sure I have a little bit of time just to get that lined up properly, because if you have it off, it just looks wrong. It just looks bad. Okay, so now we're ready for this bit, and I don't know if that's dry yet. You see how nice and red my roses came out? Let's see. It's probably, if I'm careful, I think I'll be fine. So I'll just very carefully turn this over, and I'll put my Tombow on the back here. And again, if you wanted this popped up, you could pop this up. And I'm going to just take that and I'm going to put it at a jaunty little angle here. I'm going to lift up my hearts a little bit and just slide that under. And there we go. Oh, no, see, that isn't dry. I forgot and touched it. And that's it. Our card is finished. So if you've liked this video, be sure to hit that like button down below. If there are any Stampin' Up! Products you'd like to purchase, you can do that either through my Facebook page or my website, my blog. And I'll have all that information down below here, as well as all the materials I used today. And oh, and check out my blog. I have the PDFs over there for the Celebration catalog, and also for the 2019 Occasions catalog. They've got some cute things out there, some new things you might be interested in. And Y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.